What? Okay. You guys ready? Okay. Vertex form. Get writing. I'm going to write down a ton. I want it all written down inside your journals.
He's excited to learn.
It's going to start crying.
Yeah,
That's what it means.
it's gonna cry. All the time.
Well, we may not get through much of the
Everybody, did everybody see that one key? One key. Yeah. I did baby case meatballs.
okay.
They call me Baby Daddy.
All right. So, focus, focus, focus. I hate these stupid babies more than I hate anything else in the world. All right. So this is called vertex form, and this is how it's written. F of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Now, I know there's a lot of really scary things in here. The reason why it's called vertex form is this is the formula, like when we do that ax squared plus bx plus c, this is that formula kind of broken apart to make this one. H and k will tell you where your vertex goes. So H and K tell you where your vertex goes and how your vertex moves. Now every parabola has a every graph has a parent function, meaning it has an original. The original graph to this is f of x equals x squared, meaning this. Now don't write this, but every graph, this parent function is the vertex at 0, 0 and going outward. It's just like this, f of x equals x squared. That would be the parent function to this. Okay? Now, this is how that vertex is manipulated, meaning how that vertex is going to be moved with this information right here that they're going to give to us. Now, each one of these variables does something to the parabola. A, H, and K, they all do something to the parabola. Now, we're going to go over what each one of these things does. So this page is going to be long. Get ready. Ready? Okay. Travis, which variable do you want to start with, H or K? Okay, I'm going to keep writing. Everyone else be quiet. Which one did you say? H. Okay. So we'll start with H first. H. If H is positive, go left that many, right. Stop looking at the baby. If H is positive, go left that many units. If H is negative, go right that many units. Yeah, this is like a, here, does that better? H. If H is positive, you go left that many units. Now there's a couple things you need to know about H. H tells us left or right. Also, H is always in parentheses.
Wait, so how much is that?
So, like if H was 4, you'd go left or right 4, whatever it's positive or negative. If H is positive 4, you'd go left 4. What? That's what we're doing right now, man. So H moves, I'm going to actually change this instead of tells us. H moves vertex, left or right? Okay, that's H. So H moves the vertex left or right. If H is positive, you move it left. If H is negative, you move it right. Any questions on H? K. Trey, which one? K or A? What did you say? A. A is the longest. So, here we go. A is going to tell us two different things. So, the first thing it's going to tell us, if A is positive, it opens up. If A is negative, it opens down. And also, if the absolute value of A is greater than 1, it is stretched vertically or skinny. If the absolute value of A is between 0 and 1, it is stretched horizontally or fat. Yeah, greater than 1. I saw your buck reincarnated this morning, Jason. I almost hit a buck on my way to school. It looked just like yours, little 4-point.
This is not little.
Danny texted me this morning.
Well, you said, good looking buck, man.
Yeah, said that. And he's pretty upset I didn't tell him first.
Did you see the fire by your house?
Did you start it?
No, like the creek started on fire. Yeah, I'm gonna accidentally like because they're getting ready for like someone to fall.
What is that thing? Is that thing?
I mean, it's like so
Fat.
So you're having to be here tomorrow, like, I'm not gonna be here the rest of the week, so what if I get like the sun?
You gotta email me. Okay, so A tells us two different things. H only moves left or right. A tells us two different things. If A is positive, it opens up, meaning it looks like this. If A is negative, it opens down. It also tells us a couple things. If A is greater than 1, so this is, if this was a normal parabola right there. As A gets bigger, so as A gets bigger than 1, it gets skinnier. Or stretched vertically. To the point where you have like 7x squared, it would look like this. Or 15x squared, it would look almost like that. Okay? But if it's between 0 and 1, it's fatter. So if this is the normal parabola, if it was like 1/2 x squared, it would open up. 3/5 x squared, it'd open up, right? To the point where it's almost completely flat if you got really big fraction. Okay? Any questions on A? Okay, the last one, and my most favorite, is K. If K is positive, go up that many units. If K is negative, go down that many units. So the things you need to know. K moves vertex up or down. It also, K is always by itself. Okay, so K tells us up or down. Now all these things is how we move, or it's called translate a parabola, how we move a parabola around, okay? All these things apply to that. So I'm actually not going to spend any more time on that. You will have problems on your homework where you're going to have to identify if it's an H or a K and how you move it. Derek? Yep, f of x is just y, okay? It just means function. Now realize something, that this is something you're going to have to be able to identify if it's an H or a K, and on your homework you will have to move the parabola. You'll click on it and be able to move it. So if it's a K, you'll move it up or down. If it's an H, you'll move it left or right. If it's an H and K, you'll move it left and up, or right and down, or right and up, right? And those kind of things, based upon however many units it is. So I'll do one example. If I have, here, I'll find you one on your homework today. If I have this, you can write this down too. So it says below the graph y equals x squared. Translate it to make the following graph. So if we have y equals x squared plus 4, how would we translate that? What would we do to move that graph? So if the original graph is y equals x squared, how's this graph different than this one? First off, this is the different. Now you have to identify, is this H or is this K? How do you know it's K? K is by itself. H is always in parentheses. So if this is K, K tells us what? So this goes up 4. So you're going to grab it and move up 4. That legitimately, I clicked show another and it gave me what in the world is going on. Okay, if I have y equals x minus 3 squared, Is that H or K? H. How do you know it's H, Kason? It's inside of parentheses. K, but it's a negative 3, so which way are we moving? It's not up or down. H doesn't tell us up or down. H tells us left or right, so we're going to go right 3. So on your homework, you're going to grab it here. Look at this. So it looks like this. You're going to click on the parabola and you'll drag it to the right 3. Yeah. It's not. Nope. Trust me. It's not. Okay. It's always, the reason why it's not is the original formula all the way back up here is a negative. So if we're plugging in a 3, it's like plugging in a positive 3. But just trust the process here. It's right. Okay. All right. We got to get into some graphing ones that look a little bit funkier than the ones you're accustomed to. So, any questions on translating it? A lot of information I know, but it's stuff you need to know. So, okay. If I have this, so we're going to get into some graphing. Now look, you guys all know some shortcuts, and we'll use the shortcut right now. What about if I just had this? And I said graph it. So we have a couple issues here if I say to graph this. What's an issue we have? So there's no H or K, but let's go back to the original way we graphed. There's no B or C, right? So it's impossible to find a line of symmetry. But it's actually not impossible. So if there's no B or C, we can always do this. So we can always create our own. See that? So we can always just create our own. So if there's no B or C, we can always just create our own. But I'm going to show you how I do this just to make it easier on you. This is the way they want me to teach you, is by doing this. I'm going to teach you the way that I like to do it. Makes sense? Okay? So if you don't have a B or C, so write this down underneath this one. No B or C vertex is at 0, 0. I didn't make enough room. So, if there's no B or C, the vertex is always at 0, 0. Which is cool, right? So it's always at the origin, meaning the vertex to this problem is going to be right there. Now we can actually do our little shortcut. If it's 3x squared, what are we going to do? Where's the first dot? Up 3 over 1. There's going to be a dot there and a dot there. Where's the second dot? Up 9. From this, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All the way up to there. Not this one. That's just a random dot. So all the way up to here again. So up 9 over 1 from there. So there would be your parabola. Okay, so if there's no B or C, your vertex is just at 0, 0. So here's another one. If we have y equals negative 2x squared. So if there's no B or C, where's our vertex? 0, 0. From there, it's a negative 2x squared. So what's the shortcut? Down 2, right 1, which gives us those 2 points. And then down 6 from this one, right 1. There you go. Okay, so that's if there's no B or C, which is going to start to happen to you, right? You're always not just going to have a perfect trinomial. right? You're going to start getting these weird little things, but that's an easy shortcut. If there's no B or C, the vertex is at 0, 0. Okay, the last way you're going to see is this. Everyone good so far? Am I good to go? What did you say? Okay. If we have y equals x squared plus 3. So in this case right here, which variable is missing? B or C? So H is, but which one's also missing on this one? If you go back to our original thing, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. B's missing, right? So if B's missing, so if no B, but a C, so what is C always? When we graph, what is C? Think about it. What was step 3 when we graphed them? We find the axis of symmetry, the y-intercept, right? So this is also our y-intercept. So if no B but a C, C is the vertex. So our y-intercept or y-intercept equals the vertex. So no B, but there is a C. That's but there is a C. C is the vertex, or the y-intercept is the vertex. So in this case right here, our vertex is going to be right there, and then we can do our shortcut. Up 1 over 1, up 3 over 1, and there's your parabola. Pretty cool, right? So little tiny shortcuts. I'm teaching you how to graph a little bit now. What about if we had this one though? Y equals negative x squared minus 1. Okay, but where's our vertex? At negative 1. Our vertex is going to be at negative 1 right there. But now, because it's a negative x squared, which way are we going? Down 1 over 1. Then down 3 over 1. And there's your parabola. Okay, that's it today. You're going to be graphing and you're going to be translating things. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What, we've gone 10 minutes without the babies crying?
This is titled 2-3.
It starts crying. Oh, shut up. Oh.
When your wife texts you, And it says, I want the truck.